Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif. I got my voice back. Yay!
Where'd you find it?
It was under the couch.
Damn it, I should have hit it better.
Yeah, I know, right? Nice
Did you
try.
give the frog back theirs?
Well, mostly good now, so yay! I'm very excited.
Woohoo!
What game is
I'm
that?
sure all of our listeners are too.
Yeah, don't clap on the show. None of you.
Yeah, I know.
You can clap at home though, if that's how.
Oh wait,
you know.
isn't this like the silent clapping? I don't remember where I saw that at, where you just go like this and you.
Isn't this
clap.
Spirit Fingers?
No,
I'm
no,
not doing
it's
spirit,
back.
yeah.
It's back and forth, not this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I like
like
this
for it.
better. Only I'm not
Okay.
dexterous
All
enough
right.
to.
This is a gaming podcast, not a
What
clapping
games have I
podcast.
been playing this week?
Mine's super short. I've only played some Arams League and a shitload of Tetris 99. Still haven't won. I promise you'll hear it when I do win.
Yeah, he's been
And
like
some
a crackhead
Overwatch.
for.
Yes.
Mine's short too, but I do have a new game this week. Metro Exodus, I'm still playing through. Have not got to play Sea of Thieves this week, which is very, very sad to me in so many levels. But I had a lot going on, so I couldn't do that. But I did pick up a new game, which Baka's absolutely going to hate the fact that I'm playing this game.
I know what it is.
Is there a Yoshi game? Is there a Yoshi
It's the
game?
Yoshi
Boom.
game. Yeah, Yoshi's
Okay.
Craft World. But to be fair, and I will state this now, the game is absolutely beautiful. If it was not Yoshi, based on the premise of the way the game is built, Baka would like it. I promise you, if it was not Yoshi.
But it is, so he hates
it's
it.
very interesting. It's like paper crafts. Like everything looks like it's built out of paper. And as your character goes through, well, as Yoshi goes through, right, is going through. Of course, you got the little Shy Guy things that he can eat and poop out eggs, and then. But there's like things in the background that you can shoot the eggs at. Like knock over houses, knock over like different types of trees, things like that. It's really neat. And today I got to something that I have not gotten to yet. Like I just experienced today, and I was like, oh my god, this is brilliant. So you go through and you beat a level. And normally when you go through and you beat a level, then you just move on to the next level. That's the way platformers normally work, right?
Right.
Well, this, when you got to the end, when you get to a certain point, it unlocks these little puppy dogs. Well, you can go back to the level and play it to hunt the puppy dogs. It actually reverses the level, so you're seeing behind all your shrubbery and bushes and everything else that was there before. And it's a whole new map to make your way through. And I was like, that's brilliant. You're using the same map, basically, but now you give us a 3D version of the map. It's really, really neat on the way it's built. And I like it. I like it a lot. My kids definitely love it. I got begged the other night, can I play your Yoshi game? And I was like, sure.
No, don't talk to
oh,
me.
okay.
Mar.
No, you can see the difference there. No, it's
I was like,
fine.
sure.
It's road.
I was like, they're not going to hurt anything. Sure, play whatever you want. I don't care. But yeah, so it's really well built. I'm interested to see how long it is, because one of the things that you can do is go in and see the things you've unlocked. And one of the things to unlock is the movies. I'm on like the 8th or 9th level and still not seen the second movie, and it looks like there's 9 movies. So I don't have a clue how many levels there's going to be total to go through and play, but it is fun and entertaining, so highly recommend. So far, anyway. I'll let you know later on. That's all I got.
All right, who's next? Come on.
What you got, Griff?
Sure, Chicken. Look at this. We're getting this for the car. My sister got the BT21
All of them?
stickers. Yes. Okay. She was texting
Oh,
me.
is
I'm
that-
sorry.
Is that on
all
her
of them.
car?
Yes, she got one.
Oh,
for
wow.
Anyway, as far as games, I actually have a story that involves chicken, which I'll tell you in a minute. But I got back into Borderlands because the news about Borderlands made me want to play. So I'm running a new commando for funsies, which is funny because I saw a review earlier on Steam talking about how you can't play past like the first few levels by yourself in that game, which is not at all true. And somebody is just mega bad at everything. But you know,
Do they want the difficulty reduced?
Oh.
Sorry, that's
I can't believe
throwing
that
shade in.
wasn't. We should talk about that too.
Yeah, I want to talk about that before we jump into the news.
That's fine. But the story that involves chicken, is that it was our anniversary this past week, and so we decided to play Halo 3 multiplayer stuff, which was difficult in its own right. Just for some reason, like, he installed it on my Xbox while I was at work, and I have a physical copy and he has a digital copy, so it installed on his and it installed on mine, and then we spent an hour trying to figure out why it wouldn't let me play the multiplayer because it kept saying nothing was installed. Like, no matter what we clicked, it's showing that it's installed, the file size is appropriate and everything, but it kept saying that it wasn't installed. Like, we were like, okay, what about multiplayer for Halo 2? What about multiplayer? What about the single player campaign for, like, ODST, which is a separate add-on? It's like, this content's not installed. It's like, I just watched it download for the fourth time. It just wasn't
recognizing, because it downloaded it, but from what I could tell, it did not install it.
Yeah. So it was, like, forever for us to, like, eventually I just uninstalled the whole thing and reinstalled just the Halo 3 part. And it was like, okay, fine.
Isn't that a nice feature?
Yeah.
Only took it forever to add that in, but
GG on y'all. Fancy as fuck, dude. Holy shit.
But once we did get to play, let me tell you, we haven't played Halo 3 in years. Like,
the first match I did fine.
The first match was Valhalla. And I'm running around and I can't, like, I'm hitting people, but I can't kill anybody because these are people that have obviously been playing for a minute. And I'm, over here going, what's the button for reloading? I don't remember this control setup. It's been years. And I'm dying. I'm trying not to die so that my team doesn't get hurt because we're playing Big Team Slayer. So I'm like, I don't want my deaths to count against my team. Finally, I picked up a shotgun, and the only kill I got in the whole match was with that shotgun. That's right. But the second one that we played, I actually did a tiny bit better than Chicken did. And I got to watch him die right in front of me on respawn. I died, respawn, and as soon as I spawn up, there's a guy standing in front of me who gets shot with a sniper rifle and dropped right in front of me, and then another sniper shot whizzes past me. I'm like, holy shit, run away! It was him. He was sitting right in front of me, took that shot. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. In the first match, I got to pull out the Chicken Special, which is the Spartan laser.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
Man. I killed 4 people with it, 1 vehicle, and 3 just, like, straight shots to them. I went on a killing spree, too. And I held that last shot. They overtook the hill on Valhalla, and I was like, all right, I need to hold this last shot. I know their Banshee is coming. And it comes around the corner. I'm like, I got you, you sumbitch, now. And I charge up, and this motherfucker sees me and just, like, beams right at me as my laser comes up. It hits him, but it blows him up while he's speeding, so the wreckage just kills me. So
you basically killed yourself.
Yeah, it counted it as suicide. And I was like, God damn it. It doesn't matter. Smart laser's empty, and I killed the Banshee. All worth.
It was a lot of fun. Like, I really want, like, a big group to go in and play that. I was really sad that Red and Baka were not available that evening. Actually, Baka was home, but he doesn't know where his copy of Halo 3 is at, and Red was not at home. So
you mean his copy of Master Chief Collection?
Well, yes, his copy of whatever.
In a box somewhere. In a box in a
I mean,
hole
eventually
on a
it'll be on PC soon-ish, I hope. Is there a release date for
Nope.
that, or is it just...
No.
Okay.
Nope.
That's
Real
what
soon.
I figured. Because I can't have anything nice in this world. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And let me tell you, back in the day, I never got on the scoreboard in a place higher than Chicken. But that second match, I got a double kill, and I killed.
We were tied, motherfucker.
No, I got one more assist than you.
Okay, assist, yes, but as for kills, we were tied.
Yeah, we were tied for kills, but I got one more assist and 2 less deaths.
That's fine, but we still had the same amount of kills. We were in the same place on the...
That's all that matters.
That's fine. That's fine. We had the same amount
At
of kills.
one point, I saw this blue thing fly across the map, and I was like, "Is that a power train?" Because I thought that they had made it so that those weren't in the multiplayer. Those in radar jammers, I thought they had taken out of the multiplayer, but I was wrong. I was really surprised. Giant blue thing. Anyway, that's
second game.
what I did. It was a lot of fun. So maybe we can do it again sometime in the near future. But Chicken said he wanted to talk about this difficulty thing, and I think it's a topic worth discussing. So go right ahead, Chicken.
All right, so everybody knows Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. All right, apparently there's a huge, and it's from
It's made by
From Software, who has made all the other Dark Souls games. And at this point in gaming, Souls-like game is its own entity,
It's
right?
its own genre. When you say this is a Souls-like, you know what you mean. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to have some hack and slash to it. It's going to have a lot of tactics. It's going to be hard.
Right. That's what you expect out of those. Well, apparently, a lot of people do not like that. Like, a lot of people do not like how difficult Sekiro is. It's extremely difficult. It is hard to play, and like, apparently, I've heard so much about this butterfly boss. It's just stupid difficult.
Boss.
She's a mega bitch. Like, I've seen a lot of people just get stuck on her, but people want the difficulty. Like, they want difficulty settings to make it so that they can play the game. And in my opinion, you should leave it to because we think of games as pieces of art, right? And what the developers want to show you, right? You should respect them and play it. Yes, you can give them feedback for sure, but it's up to them to make the choice whether they want to, and you shouldn't harass them to change their vision, right? So, I mean, and it just, because I understand, because some people have tried to turn this towards an accessibility option. You know, people that are differently abled can't play this game a certain way. Those kind of options, I'm perfectly fine with. Colorblind mode, I guess changing the side of the joysticks, because some people are, I don't know, just different accessibility options like that, I'm fine with. But changing the vision of the game, I'm not a big fan of. But if they do it, that's fine with me.
My thought process is the only time that I would really consider that is if right now this game's been released for 2 weeks?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks.
It feels like longer than that. Like, I feel like I've been hearing about it for a long time.
If we're 2 weeks in right now, and not one person has ever beaten this game, and not even gotten past Miss Butterfly, okay? At that point, I could see them going, we might want to redo our difficulty.
They do play testing for that reason, to see if it's too difficult for literally anyone to beat.
Yeah, and I mean, most people have beaten. Like, if you stick to your guns enough, you'll eventually get past it. There are bosses like that in all the Souls games that are just.
I feel like From Software.
I got a friend going through it the second time now.
Like, their tagline underneath every single one of the games that they make should just say "Get good, son."
Yeah.
Like, because that's pretty much how they feel about it. They're like, "This is hard. Get good, son."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, if the game is too hard for you, don't play it. Nobody is saying that you have to play this game or else. Like, if you just can't play it or you don't like the difficulty, why buy it? Why play it? It's not your thing. It's like fighting games aren't my thing. I'm not going to go buy all the fighting games and tell them they have to change it so that it's easier for me. I feel like... Well, I haven't been the one complaining about it, so...
It's something where it's like, this is how we made it. This is how it is. This was our vision for it, and I'm sorry that doesn't suit you. But I also don't remember hearing a big backlash about a lot of people wanting Dark Souls to have easy modes. Especially not, like, once you've got past the first one, like, into the subsequent ones, because they were made for a niche audience. Like, those people who were going to play that game love that kind of challenge. They aren't looking for a walk in the park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. But there was some in the original Dark Souls. But then when they didn't do anything with that, people felt it was futile to fight for, it's a second game of the first one. They're not going to change it if they didn't do it for the first one. Same thing with the third one. Because when I looked up to see if there were any difficulties, a lot of the comments was like, is there a way to change the difficulty in this? And it's basically like, no. No, you're just going to have to play the game the way it is. Get over it. It's how it's always been.
Like, I'm sorry if it's too difficult and you want to experience the game. There are plenty of playthroughs with and without commentary on YouTube. You could watch somebody stream it on Twitch Live if you wanted to talk to them about it whilst they're doing it. I mean, you can read walkthroughs if it's just that you want to know what the story is. There's plenty of ways to find plot summaries and whatnot. But sometimes... games are not your cup of tea, and that just means that, unfortunately, you're probably not going to experience that story. You're not going to play a game that you don't like the gameplay of or that you can't compete in, and it means it's not for you. And I kind of hate to be that way, but I love the aesthetic of Dark Souls. I think it looks great graphically. I think the story they tell with it is amazing. It's not my gameplay. I will literally never play that game because it's not my cup of tea, and I don't like the frustration mechanic of it. And that, like, kind of sucks in one aspect, but it's not like I would willingly pick up the game and play it on easy either. because that's not how I game. Like I could.
But even on easy, Dark Souls is not really an easy game.
Yeah,
either,
even on easy,
which is
it's still gonna be
like. I mean, I think that's the same thing with this other game.
No easy mode, by the way.
No, there's no easy mode, but
no.
If there was.
I mean, that's the thing is even your lowest setting on some of these on some of the games that are out there can be difficult for other people. Well, it's one of those where if you can't get past a game at all or past certain levels or whatever, that is not your thing. There's people that play that just for the gameplay.
Yeah.
This is my challenge. I want to go through and I want to play this game and learn how because especially in that game, it's one of those where you're blocking. You have to time that block just right, and every boss or every fight that you're in feels different for that block move, and that's where you can actually kill some very quickly because you can block and then be able to strike them back quicker. But if you're in a long battle with them, you're going to lose pretty much,
right?
Just because of the way that's done. That's the way that game is designed. People just need to understand what the mechanic is, and if you're not good with that mechanic, have a nice day. Watch somebody play it. If you want to see the plot line, because I heard it's really good, there's ways of doing that. Fucking watch other people play the game.
Yeah.
YouTube is a great source.
Well, I mean, and YouTube is
saying?
definitely a really good place to go for it because you have options of, do I want to watch somebody play it and see their reaction where they have a face cam on? Do I want to just hear their commentary? Because there's a lot of ones where they don't have face cams. It's just the commentary track. Or do I want to just watch one where somebody's playing the game proficiently without any sort of commentary? So I can just watch it as though it was a movie. I mean, and I know that kind of sucks in a way because a lot of times the whole idea behind games is that it's an interactive medium where you are playing the story instead of just watching it as opposed to a movie. But if that's how it's got to be, that's how it's got to be because it's too difficult.
Yeah,
it's not like every game is this way. It's not every game is impossible for you to play. It's just that there are certain ones, especially titles that come from Software that are FromSoft that are gonna be probably not your cup of tea.
I think part of the
That's
reason
just how
people
it
are
is.
upset with it is because of what era this is set in. That whole
it's a popular
ancient Japan, that style, whatever. You don't get games that often that are set in that particular one, and I think that's where the frustration comes in. I really want to play this game because of when it's set, I'm incapable of being able to play this game. It's like
then it's back to the tagline: get good. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's either that or start talking to, like sending feedback to other studios where it's like, I like your gameplay for like Assassin's Creed. I really wish there was an Assassin's, which, I mean, you're going to have to get in line because there's a ton of people already asking for a feudal Japan Assassin's Creed. But there
I
are
think the problem with that, though, is it's too flat. Or else you just end up making like a Tenchu Z style game.
But there's
You know what I mean?
other companies that you could hit up and be like, I'd like your style of gameplay in ancient Japan. What can we do about this? And put it on forums, put it on Reddit, so you'll get support behind you. And developers do see that. I mean, whether or not they listen, it depends on the specific developers, but they see that information, that feedback.
Well, and you have a new game coming out for this exclusive PlayStation because that's the one. If you remember the guy that played the flute E3 last year, that's what that one. They're set in that same era, and it's one of those. If you have a PlayStation, then maybe you'll be able to play that game. And it might be one that's easier for you to be able to play versus what because the style is more forgiving.
I just don't like the idea of asking devs to compromise their vision on a game like that so that it's easier for you to play mechanically. I'm sorry. It's like, the whole art thing, the art comparison and things like that, and it's just, I don't know. It's a weird place and a big uproar in the community lately, so worth mentioning.
Yeah,
That's our thoughts on it.
Throw that out
If
there.
you have
'Cause I
thoughts
got
on
it
it,
too.
hit us up on Twitter or hit us up here on YouTube. We'll have a discussion about it. Maybe you feel way differently or have a lot of other points of view than we do.
I mean, I had a nice discussion on Twitter, a pretty civil discussion on Twitter where we were discussing our different views on it. Which, I mean, accessibility-wise, for differently abled people, I wish that whatever disability you had, if you picked up a controller, the game automatically molded itself to whatever needs that you needed for it. But unfortunately, we don't live in a world like that.
Well, and I'm interested to see. Like, I'm not really sure how the software behind the new the Windows controller, that accessible controller that they have, how that works. Because you would think that that adaptive controller would actually be able to do that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because if it's able to do that internally, then that does give them an option to be able to play. But the difference being, depending on what your disability is, it's still only going to allow you to give access to certain style of games based on how that works. Because if I know I'm using all 17 buttons that are on a freaking controller, then we could turn around and go, okay, probably not one that's going to be accessible to everyone. Because some people have a hard time even in the RB and LB buttons, and it's like, I don't know why,
it's
but
just a hard time remembering which one is left and right.
Yeah, that is true. So I feel like people are just, they need to look at who they are as a gamer and decide, is this for me or not?
Yes,
and
definitely.
It either is or isn't, and
they need to be okay with it if it isn't.
Yep. Just because it's in an era that you want to play, or it has an art style that you want to play with, or things like that. Just because there's something about it that you like doesn't mean that it should be catered to your play style.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, as somebody who really wants to live in a Dark Souls-esque world, but I'm not going to play that game because it's not my gameplay. Just get over it. We'll see. Anyway, I didn't mean to completely derail, but I knew Chicken wanted to discuss that. So, you want to talk about some news stuff then?
Go through some. Let me organize this news stuff so that we can.
You didn't organize it beforehand. I'm so ashamed.
Why would you not organize it? Really? Come on, man.
I don't organize anything.
That's part of the problem.
Pick one and jump in, Chicken.
Okay.
Do it.
I'm going to pick none. Okay, so here's some pretty good news that we might hear from E3. It's about Microsoft. But the rumors floating around are that they are going to make an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, which, in layman terms, they're going to put the Xbox Live Gold in with the Game Pass and give you everything.
Which would be nice. I mean, it makes it a little more
nice.
Expensive, but Game Pass and Xbox Live together, I mean, it's worth it.
For $15 a month, you save $5 because I have my Xbox up all year round. So
yeah,
and,
I hope
if I
that
could
they
get
let
Game
it
Pass
be
with that,
in a subscription, like a year plan, like they do with Gold, where it makes it a little bit cheaper. I mean, with Gold, it's a lot cheaper, but makes it cheaper than paying month to month versus committing to the year. That'd be nice.
Yes, I think that'd be super freaking awesome. I really, really, really want it. Because, having access to the Game Pass all year round and being able to just download new games when they come out, I'd definitely pay for that all year.
Well, and I think it's gonna be very interesting to see how this affects the market too. Like, if this ends up being a thing, what is Sony gonna do? Because Sony's PlayStation Now is a bust. Still there, but it's a bust. And you have, of course, Google just recently announced their version of something similar, if you will.
Apple did too.
Yeah, Apple has as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this this change happens. But to be fair with Apple's, it's just on mobile, which is just fucking weird. I don't care who you are. That's just weird.
And like I've said, subscriptions are the future, man. Netflix subscriptions, Hulu subscriptions, Game Pass subscriptions, things that you just pay for a month and then have unlimited access to.
I have subscriptions inside of subscriptions. I pay for Amazon Prime, and inside Amazon Prime, I can get HBO, Showtime, Stars, everything I need on that. So it's like, what do you do at that point? It's like,
honestly, it's cheaper. Like, it is so much cheaper to do it that way because the way I look at it is 1 hour per hour of entertainment makes it worth it. 1 hour of entertainment. That is my bottom line. Or $1 for 1 hour. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So $15 a month. All you got to do is spend 15 hours online a month playing a Game Pass game. Automatically worth it. Any more than that, like you're just making money, I guess, or saving money at that point. Mm-hmm. So I think that's that's really good. I hope to hear it.
One of the few articles that I've seen recently where a lot of especially ones that have to do with money in any form or fashion, where most of the comments are positive about it. I mean, everybody's like, yeah, I think this is fine. Why not?
Yeah, they will definitely increase their sales.
I'm so shocked. This never happens.
Which I find this really, crazily ironic because WoW, to this day, is still $15 a month, but you pay for one game. Like, this Like, this is going to beat the WoW version of its subscription. Like, yeah, I know you got to run all those servers and whatnot, but Microsoft is doing the same thing and giving you access to all of these fucking games. All of these games. Because Game Pass library is huge.
You can access to Blizzard games every now and then. Like, Overwatch has free weekends sometimes. And
yeah, but you're not paying... That's not included in a subscription.
Sarcasm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm only going to pay it because I want to play Classic.
Well,
But,
that's neat, I think. Cool. What else we got?
Let's see. Jumping train a little bit.
You can talk about money in another game. Fallout.
Yes, I was actually jumping to that. Fallout. I can't believe that they're actually doing this. It surprised me a little bit hearing this article, but they are going to start selling repair kits and super repair kits.
Well, the super repair kits are not for sale. The improved ones are things that drop off of bosses and things like that in the world. But the regular repair kits, basically the improved repair kits will repair a weapon or item up to 150% durability, whereas the regular repair kits are just 100% durability. So the improved ones are rare items that they plan to award you for free for various in-game content stuff, like killing bosses and such. But the other ones are sold on the Atom Store. The basic ones are sold on the Atom Store, which you can, earn Atom in-game, but you can also buy it with real money.
And here's the debate that's going along with this is this pay to win? Because if you're giving something better in the game and giving somebody the incentive...
Whose house just had a flyby?
That was my house.
Oh, wow, it was both of you?
Nice.
That was weird.
Sorry, everybody. If you're listening in
we had a
headphones, I got
flyby
rumbly. Anyway, carry on out.
But I think it gives the incentive to play the game more, I guess, to go to the bosses and do stuff like that to get the drops. Versus somebody just... But, I mean, I guess it depends on how many you could buy of these other ones in the Atom Store and, like, what they're worth. Like, it's like, oh, well, you can buy 5, but it costs you $100. You're going to have people do it, but it'd be less likely, type deal. So I don't... And if it's only going to give you 100%, where the other ones that are in-game are giving you 150% or whatever, then that gives you incentive to play.
But I think that the concern is that when you're in a PvP situation, if your weapons or your gear are degrading while you're fighting that other person, you just pop open your inventory, use one of those real quick, it makes your item brand new again, whereas the other person's still taking all of that damage unless they've done the same thing. And if you're spending real money on it, you can load up on those standard kits so that you can always pop all of your stuff back to 100% when you're going down. So it does.
You could just put them on the quick menu and then.
See, I'd almost rather them do it like, okay, we'll sell these other ones, but it's like 25% or 50% in the Atom Store. You know what I mean? So like the ones that are out in the real world are 150. Those are your drops.
And I think the other thing that comes into it a lot, especially within the Fallout 76 community, which, is relatively small as it is that originally it was said that there wouldn't be anything on the store for real money aside from cosmetics. There would be nothing that would give you an in-game advantage or change anything in-game for you aside from how you look or how, basically any of the cosmetic stuff. But now you're putting on something that does in fact change how the game plays because it is a repair. You don't have to take your stuff back to a workshop and use items, materials that you've collected to repair.
I would be interested to see how that original quote was to see if it follows in this article. Is it?
I think so.
I thought it was just the people saying that, not the people from Bethesda saying it.
I'm trying to find it. It was a quote from Pete Hines, and I thought it was in here.
Because my thought process is maybe mentally they're not thinking about it being an advantage.
PAX
they're thinking
Australia. If you don't want to spend money in the Atomic Shop for cosmetic stuff, you don't have to. We give you a shitload of atoms just for playing the game. Folks that want to spend money on whatever the hell it is because they don't have enough atoms, they can. But it's not, I'm now better playing against other players because I spent money. It's not pay to win, and it's not loot crates. So, I mean, originally they had set it up to just be cosmetic stuff, but now it is something where you technically could say I'm better in a PvP fight because I spent the money to have all of these kits and you found one off a boss. So
maybe, but I don't know how often the drops are in that. I mean, the only person in this
rare.
group that's played the...
yeah.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so I have to see how the mechanics on the inside works. For those that are doing Fallout 76, they're going to know more than I will on that one. But my thought process is maybe they're looking at it as you're not buying a gun that's better than something that you can get in the game, and maybe that's why they're saying it that way, or they said it that way, is because they're looking at it as this is a repair kit, not buying an actual weapon.
Yeah, I mean, I really, to be fair, I see both sides of this argument. I mean, it's a weird.
I do too. I'm interested to see how. I'm interested to see how it plays out, and it might be one of those things too that if it doesn't play out well, that at the end of the day, Bethesda fixes it. We'll see. I mean, they have nowhere to go but up off of this game, so
well, but they're starting to get back a little goodwill, especially with last week's announcement that they're going to move stuff off of their own launcher and onto Steam instead of it being just exclusively on the Bethesda launcher. So they're trying to bridge that gap and get back some of that goodwill, and this is going to be one of those things where it's like, will this hurt them or not? Because I mean, they haven't implemented it yet. So they've still got time to go, okay, we've heard you from the community. We're not going to put the ones on the Atom Store. We're just going to make it so that you can find, some of the lesser bosses will give you the 100% and the bigger bosses will give you the 150 or something like that. There'll be tweaks between now and then, I guess. Right.
In my opinion, for things like this, anything that takes out of the game and puts it into a real item shop is bad for the health of the game. Because now you are making part of the game null. Like, why did you even make repair kits in game if you were just planning on selling them? Just to give people the option, or give the artificial gameplay part of it? Because at that point, it's because they do give you a shitload of atoms, and I mean they give you dailies, and you just
how much does a repair kit in the game?
I don't know. It doesn't say because they're not live yet.
Okay, because that's what I would be looking at. Because if it's a repair kit in the game, let's say I've got 100,000 atom or whatever. I don't know how that system works, but let's say you got 100,000 atom and a repair kit's 100 atom or 1,000 atom. That goes a long way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So the money doesn't necessarily have to be spent. So in order to be able to progress and do what you need to do, and you know what I'm saying?
Playing that game, my armor really never ran out that often. So whenever I would log on, the things that I would do, because I would spawn near my house, is I would go and repair my armor for the day. Mm-hmm. I would cook the food and get my inventory set, and then you go out. Like, that first general part of it is just kind of part of the game. Like, I mean, repairing your armor and whatnot, if you and there are so many fucking workbenches, and I swear to God, there are so many workbenches across the whole fucking thing that you could find one just about anywhere.
Right.
I don't understand why why you need a repair kit. You could just find a workbench and repair your armor, and you're good to go. I think it's not necessarily because
you can't find the workbench, but if you're trying to do it in the midst of combat, then there's part of it. But the other part of it is the materials, maybe.
There's so much scrap, and that's negligence if you let your armor get that low. Like, I mean, my armor never got that bad.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if this is like...
It's honestly almost just convenient, like fake convenience.
Right?
I guess so, but at the same time, if it's just fake convenience, I would almost be willing to say Bethesda, after what happened with the launch of 76, the canvas bags, the gameplay itself, all of that, if your community is saying they don't want this, don't do it. You really need to listen to them for right now and show them that you're going to be receptive to their complaints and their plights, and not just in it to make the money off the repair kits for yourself. Because this is a game, this is an issue where people who aren't even playing the game are watching to see how you handle it to know what they want to do for you in future games. Like, just because you made Fallout 4 and I love it, this is a disaster. It doesn't mean that I'm going to forget that when, you know, Fallout 5 comes out or whatever, you know, you're doing next that I'm interested in. I need to see how you're going to handle the community that you have now. And the fact that you have one says a lot to start with, because 76 was real rocky.
But it's not launched yet, right?
The kits, well, that's what I'm saying. They've still got time to see what they want to do.
Yeah, it's speculation. And so that's where the thing is like if they're going, we don't want you to be able to do that. I mean, I think the proper response is you don't understand how it works because we haven't released it yet. I mean,
and that's what response from a PR standpoint is you don't want this. Okay, we understand. We hear you. We will scrap the store part of it. Let you, you know, have the ones that you can find off of bosses and things like that, but not the money one. And instead, we'll get, you know, focus on making. But
I would almost. I mean, but here's the thing: is let's say that you play the game on a daily basis, and I play the game every once in a while, right? And I turn around and you go, oh, well, I've got 400 of these frickin' 150% things or whatever because I play this game all the time and I've got it good to go. And I go in and I'm like, okay, cool. And I play the game for, I don't know, an hour or two and I'm able to get 20 of them. But meanwhile, you turn around. Yeah, well, but you see what I mean, like, because if you increase the drop rate that's on there, you can still have it in the store.
As a PR standpoint, going, you don't know because we haven't released it yet, makes you look worse to the community. I mean, it's something where you can discuss with them about it. Even just be like, this is how we're considering implementing it. You know, this was our plan. Does this make it better?
We promise you it's not going to be a pay to win because there's going to be extra drops, all the other stuff. If you still have people screaming and bitching about it, turn around and go, you know, let us implement it and do it for a certain amount of time.
But I really
and if you don't like the drop, then we'll turn it around.
I really feel like Bethesda should be listening to their community, which you guys have the discussion with them of this is how.
But you cannot listen to uninformed people.
No,
that's
what
problem.
I'm saying. Is you talk to them. This is how we want to implement it. This is what the percentage drop rate will be for the 150. This is what the cost is for these. This is how much Adam you can earn an hour or whatever with one mission or things like that, so that they have actual facts to base it off of. And if the community still is like, this is pay to win and you said you weren't going to do that, cut it.
I also think you're still going to have people that can't math and still tell you it's pay to win when it's not.
Okay, personally, I don't think the repair kits are pay to win. They're honestly thinking, like, playing the game a little bit, they're really not paid to win. Like, I mean, yeah, you can repair while you're in combat. You're going to lose if you like two people that are properly skilled. If one person decides to fucking try to hotkey something, the other person's just gonna melt the shit out of them. Like, as soon as you're the one that gets put on the back foot, you lost.
If you use a repair kit, is there a time that you're down?
So you don't know.
It's probably, if I had to guess, it's probably the same thing like a stim pack where you do an animation. It's like, yeah, like you have to do that. As soon as you do that, you're automatically vulnerable. You're on the back foot. Congratulations.
Maybe. So. If you're standing in like an arena, but if you're in cover, then you probably have plenty of time.
Then you have a grenade, Molotovs, flush them out. You're on fire now. Like, thinking strategically in times like that, because I play a lot of PvP games, and I understand every millisecond counts. As soon as you put somebody on the back foot, you've automatically got an advantage, because they are now the ones trying to back away and recover. That's why you always try to push your advantage. The repair kits are going to do the same thing.
And if you're saying there's workbenches everywhere, it could be a possibility too that, like, here's where your red flags come in. Workbenches start disappearing. Ooh. You know what I mean? Like, they're not as frequent. They start disappearing. They're not around as much. Other possibilities is that you see, the drops become less. That's where somebody's really trying to make it pay to win, in my opinion.
I just think it's taking too much out of the game because, one, repair kits, you don't need to get scrap anymore, which I think that their limited inventory is really hurting people because you can only have so many items in your stash, and people need to keep...
It's not based on weight, it's based on the inventory
numbers.
Slots?
Yeah. Okay. And you got to have a certain scrap to repair your items, like all of these little things that they wanted to have in there, and these repair kits basically null a bunch of stuff. It's like, I understand adding the repair kits in the game, but adding them to the store just seems like you're adding something to simplify a major aspect of your game, which is in all of them, the durability of items, into your paid store for some reason.
Right.
Like, that part I don't see being like important. Like if they remove that and added everything in game, that'd be good. That adds more and let your systems that you put in there keep a purpose.
Well, and then you have playability too, right?
Exactly.
Versus me logging in, buying a pack of some sort that gives me all these things and go, all right, I'm ready to start my day.
Pretty much.
You
like,
know,
okay,
where
what's
you
the
were
point
like,
of
I'll go to,
sketch?
like
Yeah.
you said, you go to the nearest workbench and that's where you would start at, right?
Well, I'd start at my house, and then I'd repair my stuff and make my food and get ready to go. Now it's just like it doesn't matter. I don't need to scavenge for stuff because I could just repair my armor with these. I don't need glue or any type of electronics or anything like that to repair anything. I don't need any part of the game, that part of the game anymore.
Right.
Like that part is just
Well, and
not
PvP is
important.
not required in the game anyway, correct?
Right. I mean, somebody could shoot
Okay.
you and you don't have to shoot back. And then they'll eventually kill you, but then they become wanted, and you don't lose anything.
But then there are
so-
servers that are completely PvP from what it was said in the article.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
So I mean, if you play on those servers, everybody's gonna be
super aggressive.
shooting. Yeah. So I mean, you get what you play for. You get what you play for.
Well, I guess we'll see how they implement it and whether or not the community still doesn't like it if they do implement it in full the way that they plan.
I think communications.
So-
I mean, just put it out on Reddit what they think needs to be, what they're trying to do, what their ultimate goal was, and then here's how and what you could do on the backside of it is go. Here's what we're wanting to do. Here's why we're wanting to do it. Here are our stats on our side of it. What would you do if you were in our case? And you immediately negate the people that are going to turn around and go, don't do anything. Because those are people that just don't want something changed in the game versus somebody that might actually have a strategic amount of... Unless it's everybody. If everybody's going, no, don't do it, then you got to go back to the drawing board. But if it's one of those where it's like, you got those people 5 or 6 times that are going, oh, you don't need to change anything. It's perfect the way it is, da-da-da-da, that's fine. But obviously, there's a reason they're changing this because they've gotten a complaint somewhere else to change that aspect. Of
Yeah,
it.
well, probably people don't like the scavenging part of it. They want that part of the game simplified, which is always a problem with games. When you simplify it, you just keep going down that horrible path until the game is just nothing.
You gotta be careful.
Like, I mean, you got
about
repair kits, the first part of it, so that nullifies the repair benches. Eventually, you're going to have mobile repair benches where you could just buy one, pop it open, and then, craft whatever you need, close it,
Oh,
and
that
then
would be
just walk.
horrible.
Like, I mean... That's what simplifying a game will do.
Yeah.
One
But-
of my things, though, is I think they are adding repair kits because they'll probably be cheap and they need to make more money, which they should just reduce the price of all their other shit because that shit is just far too expensive. Far too expensive.
Yeah. All right, what else we got so that we don't get stuck on this all day?
Okay.
We said last week that we felt that Borderlands 3 was going to end up being an Epic Stores exclusive. Guess what? Epic Stores exclusive!
Well, we knew already that it was an Epic Store exclusive. It was how long is it going to be an Epic Store exclusive, which now we know for sure.
They didn't announce till Wednesday.
That
Yeah,
is
they
an Epic
didn't
Store
announce it.
exclusive. That was the only
Yeah.
logo on the thing for PC. So yeah, we're not dumb. We knew it. It didn't have
Yeah,
to be
okay,
announced,
it's
but-
officially announced.
Yes.
then
Yes,
now.
they officially announced.
So, which is something we all also assumed, which is why everybody was already
it
saying
gets
I'll play it
released
in April.
On my birthday,
The
September 13th.
the game itself for first run to Epic Store and console, yes, and then April next year, hopefully for Steam and other storefronts, but that hasn't been stated yet either. It's just that it is 100% confirmed exclusive until that point for Epic on PC.
Yes,
So-
and in lieu of that, the review bombing is such a common thing on Steam, and that people have tried, and quote me on this, have tried to review bomb Borderlands and Borderlands 2. Now, we talked a few weeks ago about how Steam was going to implement something to counter review bombing, and we haven't gotten to see it. Well,
see
we
it
got to
now.
see it in its full right here, and damn, it's pretty good.
Yep.
Like, I mean, it's so first of all, it's got the little review things at the top with 2 little
On the
white
Steam
asterisks.
Store, yes.
Yes.
It's got
And you
your
scroll down.
current and your all-time, how it's been doing. Like on Borderlands 2, all-time, it's listed as, I think, very positive, and our all-time is overwhelmingly positive, and recent reviews are very positive. Of course, those have little asterisks by them so that you can see that something's going on. And if you scroll down to all of the review analytics, it'll let you pull up that chart where it has the bar graphs of things that are positive versus things that are negative, and you can see that and go, okay, things are obviously happening. But this system that they've put in place has kept it so that the actual decent reviews for it and the previous reviews for it are what you're still seeing. So when you look it up, Borderlands 2 on the Steam store, you still see that it's overwhelmingly positive, which, I mean, kudos to Steam for coming up with something that, you know, to combat that kind of behavior. Because, yeah, you want to be able to use the reviews to say what you want about a game, but you also don't want the reviews to be used for what they're being used for right now, which is like 1,000 comments of nothing but Epic Store sucks, you know?
Yes. Part of that, I absolutely love the way they did this too, because it's not controlling, it's not censoring or anything, because if you want to see the review bombing, you can. It's all right there. You are more than welcome to turn off that feature and see everything as raw as you can. And if you don't, they'll just be like, all right, cool, this is where the review bombing started. See this, like, this is where it is. This is not taken into account with the main reviews. So, I mean, that's super nice. And I can't wait to see, like, after the review bombing is done, it goes back to normal and whatnot, and that little white patch will be there forever, where it's like, this is where people got really upset.
Which I think
that's super nice.
Ollie linked on Discord earlier today, actually. There's an employee, a Gearbox employee, that posted something on Twitter that their tweet was a quote from another, they quote tweeted another person that had showed the analytics thing where it has the review bomb that's happening, and said, not cool at all to misuse the review system like this, and shame on Steam Games for allowing it. Steam Games is the one that's taking care of you for this. It's not hurting your game at all. And Randy Pitchford replied to this and said, ironically, that misuse is possible, and that Steam has no interest in correcting this misuse makes me kind of happy about 2K's decision and makes me want to reconsider Gearbox Publishing's current posture on the platform. Right underneath it, ironically, the fact that it gets you guys' attention means it works. So one, yeah, they're actually looking at it. The people that make the games are looking at this kind of behavior. And two, Steam took care of it, and neither one of you that posted about this bothered to look at that. You just saw something that was happening that you think supports your stance to publish on another platform exclusively, and because we're punishing the bad people on Steam because look what they do, and that's how you want to handle this? That's not even what's happening on Steam's side of it. Steam's not a saint, and please never think that I'm saying they are, but they're doing something about this, and you just blatantly sat there and said, you don't do anything about this, Steam, that's why we don't want to be with you.
And your representative for your freaking company right now, a person responded, which it's consumers. These are consumers responding to you. These are people that are buying. This goes back to what Grif was just saying a minute ago. Listen to your community. Turned around and goes, this would not happen if there was an exclusive deal. You, 2K, or whoever responsible brought it upon themselves, and it's their fault for everyone being pissed off. His response, I wouldn't hit you if you didn't deserve it. It's your fault I'm hitting you. What the fuck is wrong with you and this victim blaming bullshit? Kind of fuck off, troll. He said that to a person of community.
Well,
that is your representative.
Randy Pitchford should never be allowed to be, like, honestly, they should take his Twitter away just like they should our presidents and sometimes Elon Musk. I mean, things like that, like, where companies were like, for the better, you know, for us to have a better relationship with our community, we need you to not be on social media. Because Randy does this. Like, he's volatile as far as a company leader goes. Sometimes he's really awesome, and sometimes he is a friggin' monster. And it's just crazy to me that you have super fans of his still that will defend everything that he says when he behaves like that towards a member of the community. I mean, it's ridiculous to me, and I get really wound up and passionate about it because I feel like business owners especially should have a better, you know, foot forward when they're dealing directly with their consumers, whereas people like Randy Pitchford are like, I don't care, I run this company and we're successful, and the people that like our games are going to play our games, and if you don't like that, then you don't have to. It's like,
this is your biggest community, am I wrong?
It is. I mean, it's like, why don't you slow down and maybe listen to what they're saying instead of thinking about number one for a friggin' second. I mean, because that's all it is they are like, oh, we get more money because Epic's offering us a big deal, big fat load of cash for being exclusive, so we get more money that way, and we make more on the the Steam store revenue because they take a smaller cut out of it to start with. So double win for us. We're rich. And it's like, your community is suffering for this, but I'm glad that you just bought a new diamond encrusted pimp hat.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's what you do with your money. Right? It'd probably be heavy, though.
I'd just take the diamonds.
No shit.
I don't even need the pimp hat at that point.
Thought that was an interesting and not at all unexpected response from Randy Pitchford about this game.
Yes,
Yeah,
I completely
His studio
agree.
makes good games. He should not be allowed to be on social media because he acts like this.
He should not be allowed to represent his studio.
No, and he
Like,
really
whatever
is the
his-
face of Gearbox. Like, you see Gearbox somewhere, and he's there at the forefront every time. He is synonymous. It's just how it is. But I wouldn't trust Randy Pitchford any further than I can throw him.
Well, and I have a very simple rule. It's called the 24-hour rule, which is when you're really pissed about something and everybody else is pissed about something, don't respond for 24 hours. It's real easy because you're going to get heated into the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what's going to happen. And this is what he did. He got caught into the moment and did something fucking stupid.
Well, he does it a lot. He argues with people that don't agree with his stance on things. And if you don't agree with his stance, I mean, you're a troll. And you're just being, sanctimonious in your own right. And you need to shut up and nobody talk to this guy. I blocked you. Meh, 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 meh.
Hey everyone, sorry so much that we ended up having to end this show a little early. What we found out, which you really couldn't hear, was that our friend Baka accidentally had muted himself during the show, so you couldn't really hear him. We still wanted to make sure that we had a good quality show for you as best we could, so we're going to go ahead and end it now. Do apologize greatly for that, but at the end of the day, you know where to find us. On Twitter, you can catch us at Infinite Res PC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oak Tree. Check out Grif at Grif's Linum. Check out Baka at Baka Pickle. Check out Chicken at Elite Chicken 313. Also, make sure that you go to the YouTube channel for Grif, where she's currently playing through Resident Evil. Now that she's got her voice back, she can smile and laugh just the way we always love her. And then also make sure you go to twitch.tv/Elite Chicken 313 to follow Chicken there and watch him as he streams Sunday through Thursday. Also, make sure that you go to mixer.com/MDB Oak Tree, as I'm there just about every single day of the week. Follow me on Twitter, you'll know when I'm on. Follow Chicken, you'll know when he's on. And of course, Grif, you'll know when she's got a new episode out there. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree. Everyone have a great day. See you later.